Welcome to Rise Up with Robby, the live stream where politics, sports, and faith come together to inspire, challenge, and empower. Your host is Robby Wells, former NCAA Division I football coach, motivational speaker, author, and former presidential candidate. Every week, we will tackle today's biggest issues, explore the world of sports, and discover how faith and purpose can help you overcome any obstacle. Get ready for bold conversations and practical inspiration. It's time to rise up.
Welcome, everyone, to the airing of the first episode of the Rise Up with Robby podcast. I'm Robby Wells, host of the show, and I am truly honored and excited to have this opportunity. Now, I want to thank Jason Wilson, the producer of this podcast, for making this a reality. Thank you so much, Jason. This show will feature special guests from all walks of life. We're going to have sports stars, entertainers, fitness instructors, ministers of faith, politicians, and business leaders that are blazing a path in their industry. For more information about this show and to order your book, Touchdown America, go to my website, which is riseupwithrobby.com. That's riseupwithrobby.com. Spell Robby with a Y. A lot of people don't do that, but spell it riseupwithrobby.com. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, I want to share a little of my life story so that you can begin to understand a little bit about what makes me tick. We'll be right back.
I'm Robby Wells. I was a former college football coach, also ran for president of the United States. Understand this, you're going to go through some dark times. Some of you in here may be going through them, and that's why you're new to this business, okay? Midnight's the darkest part of any day. Just remember, midnight does not last very long, because at 12:01 it's morning, and it's time to rise up, and it's time to blast off. Understand this, you're going to get better and better and better. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay to fail. Fail big. Because if you fail big, you're going to learn from it and you're going to move on from it. But always take advice from those that have been there and they have done that. You see, whether you are black or white, young or old, male or female, a member of the LGBTQ community, whatever your religion may be, we're all very unique in this room right here. We can celebrate our differences because we've got one common bond. We are all Americans and we all work for the greatest company on the face of this planet, Family First Life.
So listen, if any of you viewing today are in need of life insurance for yourself or your family members, I want you to reach out to us at riseupwithrobby.com. The big shift right now is setting up your children or your grandchildren with an IUL. That's an Index Universal Life that will make them millionaires by retirement age. One of our agents will be glad to assist you with that. So take this next statement to the bank. Dreams without action are merely entertainment for your thoughts. Put action behind those dreams. Set goals and make those dreams a reality. This podcast was a dream of mine. I put action behind it, and now it is reality. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself now. So let's start with this story about a beautiful young girl. Many, many years ago, went away to college on a music scholarship. Very quickly, everyone in this school realized just how talented this young lady was. She was going to sell out concert halls, gold records, platinum records. Everyone knew this. She was already the lead singer for a band as well. But like most young girls, she ended up falling in love. One thing led to another, and this beautiful young girl ended up pregnant. All of her friends, all the people in the school said, listen, it's just a blip on the radar. Don't ruin your career. Go ahead, terminate this pregnancy so that you can go on and do great things in your career. To the point where they set up an appointment to do just that. She was sitting there in that doctor's room getting ready to go back. And when they called her name, she ran out and ran away. She couldn't do it. She couldn't go through with that. So she ended up about 6 months later giving birth to this beautiful little boy in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, I've always said that if I could find that nice lady that did that, I would thank her for setting my life in motion, because see, that beautiful young girl is my birth mother. Well, about 10 years ago, I did have that opportunity to meet her, and things have really come full circle. And now I'm probably one of the only people in the United States that can say he's got two moms that absolutely adore him. And both the moms get along great. We do holidays, birthdays, everything else together. But I was adopted when I was a very young child, like 6 weeks old, by a minister and his wife in the South. Not only was my father a minister, but he was also into politics. And he actually worked with one of our former presidents, and that was Jimmy Carter. He worked with Jimmy Carter when he was the governor of Georgia. And then when President Carter decided to run for president, my father actually helped him win the White House. I can remember a few days before that election in 1976. I was just an 8-year-old kid. And I was actually playing right there in his home there in Plains, Georgia. He walks in and I looked at him, I said, "You're going to be the president of the United States." And he looked down at me as an 8-year-old kid and he said, "One day you will be too." And it kind of put a spark of inspiration on my heart. And so, yes, I went on to actually run for president of the United States. I'm not done with that yet. We don't know when the next time is going to be, but we'll make a decision soon. But I knew from watching him, I did not have to be a career politician. I could follow whatever my passion was. And so let's fast forward to 4 years later. My father is a minister at this time in Clayton, Alabama, which is in the deep South. We called it LA. People say, "Where'd you grow up?" I said, LA, not Los Angeles, but lower Alabama. So anyway, my very first college football game, I was 12 years old, and we went to see the University of Alabama play against Ole Miss. My father and I were sitting in the nosebleeds in the end zone, and Coach Bryant, Paul Bear Bryant, was the head football coach. He wore the houndstooth hat. He had championship after championship after championship. So I'm just a 12-year-old kid, and I'm taken in this huge stadium with thousands and thousands of people there. And Alabama, the first two times they had the ball, their first team scored. It's 14-0. Coach Bryant put his second team in. They scored the first two times they had the ball. It's 28-0. So he empties the bench, and at halftime, it's like 38-0. And they came on the announcements, the PA announcement at halftime. They said all JVs report to the locker room. The junior varsity team actually got to play the second half. So late in the second half, we're sitting up in the nosebleeds, and I looked at my dad and I said, and I kind of pointed down on the field. I said, "I want to do that one day." And my dad looked at me, and everybody around's laughing because I'm just a 12-year-old kid. And he said, "What? You want to play football at Alabama?" And I was like, no, I want to do that. And I pointed at Coach Bryant. I want to coach. And my dad grabbed me by the cheeks and he said, "Listen, if that's what you want to do, you can do it. So go do it." And I did. So for 20 years, I was a college football coach. Okay. Coached in the SEC, actually coached in that very stadium where I told my father I wanted to be a coach, coaching against the University of Alabama when I was at the University of South Carolina. So I'm here to tell you anything in this country is possible. We're going to talk about that on all the episodes. We're going to be talking with all sorts of really cool people, okay, that from all different walks of life, okay? So next Tuesday, I want to talk to you about what's going to happen next Tuesday at 5 o'clock, because every Tuesday you can expect to see me right here. And we're going to be live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and TikTok, all of them. So there's no excuse for you not to be able to see us. But next Tuesday, I'm excited to tell you that we will have Ron Johnson. He is the former GBO World Heavyweight Boxing Champion on this podcast. Ron was mentored by Mike Tyson and trained by Floyd Mayweather Sr. I actually sat ringside with my friend Sugar Ray Leonard and watched Ron successfully defend his title in Los Angeles. It's going to be a great show, so I don't want you to miss it. Now, I've always want to close this show with something meaningful, okay? And so I want to do that right now. And hopefully you're going to be able to take something from this. It's not just a show where you get entertained. Hopefully you'll be able to take a couple of things that were said either by me or the guests that I have on this show that you can take with you through the week. That's one thing I've always tried to do with people that were in my profession is try, when I would go and I'd listen to them, I'd try to take one little bit of information from each one of them and use that. So let me just start by saying this. We say we are united, but really we're divided. We say that we are great, but Kirk in 25 and King in 68. Sit back with pen and paper. Let's take a little quiz, because at the end of this talk, we're all going to say it is what it is. School shootings are common. Watching the news is drama. We devalued human life, men creating babies without a wife. We wonder why we are not blessed, but the unborn are distressed. We have become way too lenient when we can kill a child for convenience. Going too far to the left, going too far to the right gets all of us hot and bothered, ready for a fight. We keep telling ourselves we are better. We tell ourselves we want more, but how can the United States broker for peace when it keeps paying for war? Students can't afford college. The system makes us groan. You know there's a fix when Uncle Sam profits on student loans. When it comes to justice, we know that there's a void. Black men afraid to walk the streets in fear they will end up like Floyd. We say that we are the greatest, in liberty we are based, but we won't achieve true greatness until our division is erased. Little boys growing up without fathers, no more guidance in this world. Does it really even surprise us that they transition into girls? We say we're the richest nation, golden streets and pearly gates. But how can this be true when 350,000 people is the homeless rate? The US is the beacon of freedom. That all sounds very nice. But how can this be true when we are ripped apart by ICE? Now, I was raised in the country. I was brought up in the South. Let's stop listening to all these folks that talk out of both sides of their mouth. The solutions are here, deep within my head. Let's all come together and put these problems to bed. Vets for Kids, Service for Freedom will solve pieces of this puzzle. The elite don't want to hear it. They want you and I in a muzzle. Equal justice and unity sounds great for the people, but nothing will be solved until we go inside the steeple. Incentives to stay married, better education saves the day. But nothing will get better until we get on our knees and pray. May God above forgive us for all of our many sins. Let's all join and be united so that we, the people, will rise up once again. Thank you for tuning in. And when we come back next week, again, make sure that you are here. It'll be a little bit longer, and it will be an interview with Ron Johnson. Ron Johnson the former GBO World Heavyweight Boxing Champion. He's going to be right here with us. We'll see you then.
Thanks for joining us on Rise Up with Robby. If today's conversation encouraged or challenged you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this live stream with your family and friends. Join us again every Tuesday at 5 o'clock Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok. Until next time, keep your faith strong, keep moving forward, and remember, it's always time to rise up.